Hello everyone, my name is Awat, and today I will be showcasing the new maps that will be arriving in the upcoming update. This video will be attached to the playlist including all the other videos that are showcasing the new update and what has changed, so that you'll be able to conveniently find all changes in one place, all in video form. All of the maps shown in this video have of course been covered in my dev diaries, but that video had a focus on its development, while this video will focus more on how they play. Of course, there's significant overlap between the two videos though, so you do not feel like watching this video as you've already seen the others, feel free to move on and check out the other content that has changed in the playlist. A card will be appearing in the top right corner right now, showing it. This update once again is expected to release 1 or 2 days after Demeter's release, assuming that Demeter's release doesn't change the game too much. Without further ado, let me showcase the new map, Into the Spire. Into the Spire is a sequel to Round the Spire, in which it has a similar shape, of which you guys fight in a circular motion around the map. Just like Round the Spire, there is a giant cliff in the middle that's very circular and blocks your ability to play. In Round the Spire, the area around the center cliff is water, so you could still build on it, still find resources on it, just not trees for cover. However, on this map, you'll notice that there is just a sort of ash layer instead of any water. This ash layer, just like around the spire, will be pretty open. However, no resources will be found here. You will notice that all resources will stay a little bit away from the ash layer, with inanimate resources such as gold and settlements being closer, and living resources such as wood and food staying further away from it. Additionally, unlike Round the Spire, the trees here are very sparse, and you'll have to constantly be moving your villagers for more wood. Round the Spire on bigger team sizes has extra cliffs that act as some sort of obstacles in the center. Into the Spire also has these cliffs, but these spawn regardless of team composition and are actually passable in the middle. Additionally, another gameplay difference is that there's more of a focus on team matchups on this map. In Round the Spire, while you do spawn slightly closer to your teammates, there is no other discernible difference in team games. In this map, you spawn significantly closer to your teammates and have a path showcasing where your teammates are. This path can be used against you when an invading army sees where it leads to, and vice versa, you can use it to detect where your enemies are if you are invading the enemy. Aesthetically, this takes a significantly different approach than Round the Spire. Round the Spire has you fight on the beach, with autumn trees surrounding it, while this map exclusively features green plants and takes place on an island. The layout of this map reflects a zoomed-in version of Round the Spire as a joke. As you can notice that Round the Spire features some water and 2 layers, while this map features the same thing but on a larger scale, with there not being any access to the water. Additionally, the aesthetic Into the Spire is not set. You'll notice that its grass color changes amongst other shades of green often, and the forest type will also change what kind of trees it contains often. Even the cliff and water types will change the look if you bother to go sightseeing at the edge of the map every now and then. The type of details that spawn the grass will change each match, and even if they do spawn, the amount of it changes each time too. So sometimes there might be only 1 or 2 flowers, or sometimes the place might be littered with flowers. See what kind of details you can pick up and notice on. Moving on to the next map I developed was Numinous Arena. It's a very gimmicky map, so it's okay you guys don't play this more than once. But to begin, you start out in this little cubby area. You have an opening and a large starting forest. Your first settlement is already there in your base, making it so that you have a base of 2 settlements. This makes it so you can eco-boom very easily, and you have a well-defended area, because even after the single opening to your base, there's going to be a thick forest in the lower region of the arena. You move to the middle of the arena and you will notice that it is very open, but this open area is where you have to compete for town centers. That's right, even though I made it so you get nice and cozy in your original base, you will have to fight in the center area if you want more town centers, since everyone's 4 town centers will spawn in the center area indiscriminately and randomly. So while you have more opportunity to get cozy in your base, and you stay too long, and the opponents claim the entirety of the middle, they will have a significant population advantage over you, and be able to crush you easily regardless of what kind of defenses you have up. In team games, instead of having you guaranteed to spawn next to your teammates, it's actually a random chance. So sometimes you will spawn close to your teammates, and sometimes you will spawn equally close to your teammates as you are from your enemies. This will add a little bit of a fun random dynamic to it. But this map is great for those who have a slow start and just need that little bit of extra time to get going, without rewarding turtling gameplay by having the punishing settlements in the center of the map, so that they will have to leave eventually or else they suffer losing. This next map is also very gimmicky. It is called Fossum Perterum, translated to a ditch in the ground. It offers 3 rectangular descending layers, with each layer housing a separate resource. So essentially, it's similar to how Gold Rush only has gold in the center, but 3 times worse because now all the resources are separated. The outer layer on this map will have the gold that you need. It can be easily accessed and walled off. The middle layer will contain all the food that you need on this map, with food often being near each other and condensed, but it's also right next to your enemies. In the very center of this map will have the most controversial gameplay loop, which is where all the trees are. Besides your starting trees, all of the trees on this map will be located in the center. This layer has a little opening, making people susceptible to raids, so be sure to wall off your wood line. This will make wood an extremely valuable resource that many players will lose villagers over. The worst part is that in bigger player sizes, there are less entrances to the wood than there are players. While this is not an issue in team games, in large free-for-all games, this will make it very easy to wood-starve players, and some people will drop very fast in the early game. With that out of the way, I can understand that this gimmick, it may be too much for some people, and too much of an extreme alteration from standard gameplay. So I understand you don't pick it up after the initial try. The reason why both these maps have extreme gameplay loops is to offer different experiences. Since I already offer enough just standard normal gameplay maps, I want to introduce something different for once. So I don't mind if you guys throw these away after 1 or 2 use, but the option for different gameplay will be there. That being said, these two maps, their looks are expected to change with the Aztec DLC, so please do not get too comfortable with how they currently look, as they're just kind of placeholder looks until I can find something better. There's a chance it might stay, there's a chance it might not. Just leave me feedback and I'll see what I can do. And finally, the newest map besides Awat Nomad will be called Guerra Alta, or Tall War in Spanish. Similar to Fossum Perterum, there are 3 significant parts of this map. There is an upper outer layer, where you can find the most amount of trees. There's the middle layer, in which all the players will be housed and most of the resources will lay in. And then there's the center layer, a crater of sorts. This crater houses a bunch of relics and herdables. You cannot build on this crater except for the very center, where there will be an extra town center for whichever lucky person claims it. However, this town center will be difficult to defend as you cannot build anywhere except immediately around the town center. This limits the amount of walls or defensive structures you can have around it, making it a very tough spot to defend, and make you consider if you should get it, unlike other extra town center maps. Whereas an obvious yes, you should get the extra town center for more population, this one could end up being a waste of resources if you don't have the means to defend it at all. On bigger map sizes, this is even more out the way and even more of a risk. So hopefully this adds a new dynamic of risk versus reward assessment, and hopefully that will add a new layer of gameplay to it. Trees on this map only spawn at the edge of each layer, so the wood count is not too bad, but it is a little limited, and their positioning may compromise the safety of your villagers. This map currently features 4 aesthetics on release: a temperate grass, a light snow, a harsh volcano, and a tropical dirt biome. While the aesthetics of many things, including the crater area, will be different with each variant, the core gameplay loop will be the same. The hunt on this map is pretty aggressive, and they should be the same amount regardless of what biome you get. The biomes are all equal chance at 25% chance of occurring. This map is one of my personal favorites because of how it looks and because of how long it took me to make it. Both the conceptualization and the execution were difficult tasks, and that's why I didn't take it lightly when I said this was probably the best map I made in my development diary video for it. But that was, of course, before I made Awat Nomad, which now strongly competes with it for my current pride and joys in the mod pack. Awat Nomad will also be releasing this update, but will have its own video already released at the time of recording. All of the videos relating to the update should be in one tight playlist so that you can see all the changes that have happened. Hopefully these new maps are exciting to play, and thank you for watching. Have a great day.